March of 2017, Nintendo released The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It was also the first video review that I ever did on this channel. Now there were a couple of videos before that, but those have been burned in the depths of the internet, and for good reason. But with that being said, this is the final episode of what I guess I'm dubbing Season 1? I don't know. So I figured, why not go back to where it all began? The Legend of Zelda series is one of the longest running video game series in history, spanning over numerous consoles and eras. There's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons, and I'm pretty sure that's not even half of them. The series is also launched into a manga, art books, and even a TV show. Although if you like your sanity, just don't. As each year goes by, younger and younger gamers drift further away from the roots of gaming. So I hope this can help try to bridge the gap a little bit. February 21st, 1986. The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System was released. The game has sold over 75 million copies. Thankfully, my dad was always on the up and up when it comes to the latest technology and had both an NES and The Legend of Zelda. Now the game came out when I was, I'm not good at math, minus 8 years old, I think. And on top of that, I haven't beat the game since I was 4, and that was obviously with my dad's help. So, going back to it almost 20 years later, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to read the opening story of the game. Let's throw that on screen, shall we? Long ago, Ganon, Prince of Darkness, stole the Triforce of Power. Princess Zelda of Hyrule broke the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 pieces and hid them from Ganon, before she was kidnapped by Ganon's minions. Link must find the pieces and save Zelda. Yep, that's it. And for NES standards, this was a blockbuster movie of a script. For those that are a bit younger and grew up post-NES era, stories were not usually that elaborate or thought out. Even more, we had to actually read manuals that came in the box. I know those things are long gone, but hey, they used to be a thing. Regardless, the story is essentially the same as every Zelda game, just with a couple less characters and dialogue. One thing I love about old school games is that you don't have any 10-minute cutscenes, no hour-long tutorials. The game just hands you the keys and watches as you sink or swim. The Legend of Zelda is the poster boy for that concept. The game is a top-down adventure where everything is moving on a 2D plane with you. You start the game placed in the middle of nowhere, but you see a nice big cave just begging for you to go into. Entering it, you have a creepy old man and he hands you a sword. That's basically when you know your adventure begins. What you do next is up to you. The game doesn't give you any instructions on what to do or what items do or where to go. The game just encourages you to try everything out, experiment, see what on God's earth happens. This is where games in the series like A Link Between Worlds and Breath of the Wild got the open world non-linear adventure from. After getting your sword, which by the way is completely skippable, you set off exploring the world trying to find dungeons and get the power of the Triforce. I love having the freedom to explore the world as much as I want, and get to find all the little secrets that the game has to offer, without the use of the internet. Whether it's finding an item in a dungeon and using it to get that damn heart container, or burning a tree and finding an old lady underground, it always feels rewarding. Especially because the game barely throws you a bone when it comes to finding this stuff. Other than exploring the overworld, you will be spending most of the time in dungeons. They are labeled level 1 through 9, but you can essentially do them in whatever order you want. Overall, the game's pretty basic. Stab a boss here, bomb a wall here, and then before you know it, you're gathering pieces of the Triforce. That is until you get to level 6. That's when you get goddamn whiz robes appearing. If you're not ready for those sons of you're gonna get Darknuts, Leons, even Ganon. Not one enemy in this game gets on my nerves more than these whiz robes. They just teleport around the room, shooting magic and absolutely chunking your health. They are the reason that I have nightmares as a child. They are basically my sole existence for game overs in this game, and nothing gets on my nerves like freaking. You know something? These videos are a good way to get out pent-up anger. I should look into that. Anyways, yeah. So you go through the dungeons, collect items, kill bosses, and on your way to saving the princess. Sums it up nice and quick. Okay, let's just call a spade a spade. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that this game is the be-all and end-all of graphics. We have made huge strides for the best in this department, but for 1986 standards, this was absolutely amazing. You had different environments around the world and enemies for each area. With what they had to work with, they really made the game come to life and immerse you greatly, and obviously the music is as iconic as music gets. The main theme has been a staple in history and will be probably forever. Beating this game is maybe an afternoon or a weekend. For NES standards, it can be considered pretty long, I guess, but the game was built on exploration and difficulty to lengthen it. If you know where you're going or you're just getting the basics, then you can probably beat the game in 2 to 3 hours. What the game does provide after beating the adventure is a second quest though, with a whole new layout, harder enemies, and different item placements. I don't know another game that offered this at the time. I mean, I'm sure there is one, but I haven't figured it out yet, so. For the first game in the series and being 30 years old, it stands up incredibly well. It laid a foundation that would lead to an incredibly successful franchise for years to come. If somehow you've never played the original Legend of Zelda, you are really missing out on gaming history. It's on almost every modern day Nintendo platform on the eShop. Spend an afternoon and see if you can conquer Ganon where the legend begins. Oh, and Wizzrobes.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of Season 1 on Will's Game Reviews. And yes, I know I said I was doing 52 weeks of this, and I still plan to, but I'm going to be taking a little break for a week or two, probably just a week, to help improve my skills, provide better videos, make better content, blah blah blah, do all the same. So yeah, should be hopefully better in Season 2. There's still going to be a Tale of 3 Idiots, not Tale of 2 Idiots. That'll still be going up as per usual. And I'd just like to say, if you've ever watched one of my videos, liked, comment, subscribed, clicked on it, disliked, anything. If you spent 2 seconds watching some crap that I made, or me ranting about video games, then, bless your soul. No, let's just end it there. Bless your soul. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Later.